San Diego, California. This is the San Diego Sports Junkies, a show for fans, by the fans. With Josh Taylor, Justin Smead, and Jason Eidsmoe. We're talking Chargers, Aztecs, and Padres sports. It's time to let your voice be heard.
Hello, everybody. It is 7 o'clock. It is Wednesday, and that means it's time to let your voice be heard. This is the San Diego Sports Junkies, a show for the fans.
By the fans.
I am Jason Eidsmoe, along here with Justin Smead, Mike Maciejewski, and we have a special guest in-house. Darren Anderson has joined us today. Thanks for joining us here, Darren.
Thanks for having me.
Each week, Darren joins us online in the chat room and make sure he lets us know every time we make a mistake. So he decided he'd come in and join us. I know Josh
Nobody has that kind of time.
Yes. Very true. I know Josh has been trying to get you for a long time, and it's awesome that when Josh was not able to be here is when you were able to come in. As you can see, Josh is not here. Him and Tiffany decided, once again, that it would be more important to go honeymoon in Hawaii than spend time with us in our studio / place that my family eats dinner. Today we are going to be talking Padres fire Josh Burns. They got no hit by Timmy Tim Tim. Awesome. We're going to be talking some World Cup soccer. I think there's a big game tomorrow. Mm-hmm. We are going to be talking about the Chargers. They also made an addition to their football team, and some people are very excited about it. Some people are lukewarm on it. Bottom line is we are going to see this season. I'm going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to be talking some Padres.
What's up, you sports freaks of San Diego? This is your fantasy corner of SD Sports Junkies. I'm your host, Steve-O, and I want to challenge you to win your fantasy football season this year. So tune in weekly starting in August for some preseason sleepers, draft day steals and busts, new draft value on the usual suspects, and my personal mock draft strategy that will carry you through your season and leave your buddies crying in that draft room. So please, don't miss your chance to tune in and add your fantasy football smack talk to your corner of SD Sports Junkies.
All right, we're back. It is Padre time. Big news in San Diego. Not the fact that we got no hit. We'll talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
Josh Burns got fired. What was he, GM for maybe, 2.5 years?
2.5 seasons, man. I mean, did people think nothing was going to happen here pretty soon? I mean, I didn't take it as any surprise that somebody got let go. Rumors were, Buddy Black, Josh Burns, maybe a hitting coach, who knows. I'm not surprised. This franchise needs something. It's obviously not going in the right direction, so I don't know. I don't know what I feel about Josh Burns. He really didn't have enough time here. He made some good moves and he made some bad moves. So,
well, a lot of people focus on the bad moves. A lot of times with the GM, you don't realize a lot of the moves they've made. Kevin Towers is a great example. A lot of people liked him.
Right.
And when we actually started going back through his drafts, we started to see maybe he wasn't as great as we thought he was. Burns didn't really have a chance to really show what he could do in the draft because he'd only been here for a couple of years. He signed. He made a few signings that were questionable. Now they're questionable anyways. Josh Johnson comes to mind. When he did that, of course, all of us were excited about it.
Right.
Yeah. But the bottom line is, it did not work out.
Risky.
Yeah.
There's some risk moves, and he brought in some players like maybe a Jesse Hahn that we're seeing kind of what he can do. That's kind of cool. But there's nobody really from the farm that we've drafted yet by Burns that we haven't seen come through. Hunter Renfroe comes to mind, doing very well in Double-A right now. It's going to take some time to see what his fruits of his labor was while he was here. As you mentioned, Kevin Towers, his fruits weren't good at all, really. A few guys. But other than that, man, Josh Burns just really hasn't impressed at all.
Well, the problem is the things that we see that he did, he made the big trade with the Reds, which I mean, how long is it before you think it's been long enough? Yeah, we keep saying that the jury's still out, jury's still out, but bottom line is we got two guys that can't hit 200,
right,
and one of them can't hit 200, and he got popped for steroids.
Right, and they were both supposed to be can't miss type of players. Like Yasmani Grandal was supposed to be a catcher that could hit for power, hit for average.
I remember you had his wiener in your mouth for a long
time. You know what? I don't disagree with that. I did borrow some knee pads for a while. But I still like the kid. I don't know what's going on here. Ever since he got popped, he hasn't been the same Yasmani, obviously. Everett Cabrera, same thing. Not the same kind of player.
Right.
Very, very odd and maybe ironic that that's happened. So we'll see. I mean, Yonder Alonso, I like his stroke, man. He has a good swing, but he swings and misses often.
Like a lot of the team.
Exactly. It's not just on one player, but yes, it hasn't come to fruition yet.
What do you think, Dee, about the Josh Burns firing? What do you think about that?
It's too late. Josh Burns, a big problem not only with Josh Burns, but a lot of the GMs in recent history is if it's one thing the Padres could do, it's pitch. And yet they're trading stud fielders to get more pitching. And Andrew Kashner, I mean, that is a complete fleecing by the Chicago Cubs, in my opinion. I mean, Andrew Kashner had injury problems with Chicago. He's got injury problems now. Even when he's on, he's not going on a type of tear that's going to win him a Cy Young. Right. I mean, he's just not. The guy is inconsistent. He throws 97 miles an hour, so he's going to have games where he gives up 1 or 2 runs, strikes out 10, whatever. But you got a guy, Anthony Rizzo, who's going to be an MVP candidate. He's starting to turn it on now. Right. I mean, the guy, you're trying to tell me the Padres can't use a guy that hits 17 home runs?
Right.
And out of those 17 home runs, I've seen every single one of them. They would have been out of Petco, too.
They didn't even give him...
As a matter of fact, one of them was out of Petco. So, I mean, I don't even...
And that was a bomb.
Yeah.
They didn't give him time. They wanted to tweak his swing, if you remember correctly, Padres, when he was here before the trade happened. And I agree with you. I thought it was way too soon to give up on Rizzo. For me, that was a bad mistake by Josh Burns' part. I do like Kashner, but maybe he's more suited to be in a setup role, maybe a middle relief guy. I think that's where he might most fit, but when he gets healthy.
Don't get me wrong, Kashner is a great pitcher, but when you're trading an MVP caliber everyday player on a team that can't score runs, and we're not talking about a team that has the best heart of the lineup out there. I mean, this team can't score runs.
Right.
So you trade a guy like Anthony Rizzo, who would slot right into the 3, 4, 5 hitter in that lineup.
Every
night.
He
would by far be the best hitter on this Padres team. Let's be real here.
I think that shows that the Padres don't think that Josh Burns could get us out of the situation we're in.
Right.
It looks very bleak for the future.
It does.
I really don't see how they have no assets to trade to bring back talent. So
well, it's like Darren was saying. You guys were saying pitching is what we stockpile, right? Okay, great. We have great young arms. That's awesome, but that doesn't get it done in division play. We got boppers in this division. You got 2 of the highest payrolls in baseball with the Giants and the Dodgers in your freaking division. How are you supposed to compete? You don't just trade away hitters like he's saying. I get it, but at the time Rizzo wasn't. He didn't come on as like he was now. He didn't have time to develop. We just didn't see it. So bad mistake, poorly judged by Josh Burns.
Well, not only that, but let's think about some of the contract extensions that were given under his when he was. You got
Cam Maben.
Yep. Who he's having an okay season, I guess, but he's not.
According to who?
Cam Maben.
Cam Maben is garbage, guys. You guys need to stop with the Cam Maben stuff. That's one problem is, and I understand we're all fans here, and I understand we have a little more bias when it comes to our team. Chase Headley's been garbage for years. I've been screaming that from the rooftops for the last 3 years.
He had one solid year.
And recently, you guys are starting to come around. But that guy is garbage.
Right.
Okay, that guy... let me rephrase. Let me back up a little bit. He's not. I don't want to say he's garbage, but he's certainly not a 3-hitter on any team.
No,
that's for sure.
Well, they stick him there every night.
A 3-hitter or a third baseman.
Yeah, and I heard news yesterday, the day before, that he's going to be playing the rest of the season hurt. He has some herniated disc.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm so excited about that. Nick Hundley.
Nick Hundley is another extension. Will Venable is another extension.
And he's not here either.
Well,
because he doesn't show up to any of the games.
And it's funny that you bring up our great third baseman, because if anybody remembers, last year the Padres offered him a monster contract that he turned down.
Thank God he didn't accept it.
Could you imagine had he taken that contract?
$13 million a year. I think that's the number. That is
Stop. We would have been broke. We would have been screwed for the next 5 years.
dodge
In
the
all
bullet with
honesty,
that
and
one.
that's not even really that much for a player that you're expecting to hit third in your lineup.
It's
Right.
the San Diego
But,
discount.
Yeah, he needs to be somebody else's problem. I mean, the
does.
Padre fans have been living with that guy for too long.
Yeah, I think the Padre fans are starting to lose patience with him, though.
Pitching is just not the problem. I mean, you're able to get guys like you get a guy like Aaron Harang. You get a guy
That we gave away.
Jason Marquis.
Jason Marquis. There's another guy. He was a White Sox, and now I think he was a pitch for the Dodgers recently. His name's skipping me. But
I loved him. I'm trying to remember what his name is.
You could get guys that are, third tier, fourth tier,
serviceable.
Exactly, and they'll have good seasons for the Padres. It's just to throw away assets in the future of the team for
One of
even a 1-2 starter. I don't like the trade of an everyday player for a starting pitcher anyway, unless you're a starting pitcher away from competing, which the Padres clearly aren't.
No.
Right.
Well, no, they're not competing for one. So,
No.
I mean, obviously that wouldn't work. As far as starting pitching goes, they're okay. We're not screaming this team can't pitch. We see it on a nightly basis. Guy goes out there 3 runs. You shouldn't feel like that's an inevitable, insurmountable odd that you have to overcome.
Right.
3 runs. We've all discussed that before. So the problem is the hitting, and like you said, bad decisions were made even prior to Josh Burns with the Jeff Morad group. That whole debacle
That was
with
a
that
big mess.
stupid ownership out there. That was terrible. Set us back another 3 or 4 years. So they just need to get the right guys in place and to build through the farm. We have nobody through the farm with hitting prowess.
That's the problem. Yeah, you can go down our farm system and you can find pitching. We've stockpiled pitching, and everybody always says you can never have too much pitching.
Exactly.
You can never have too much pitching. Guess what? We have too much pitching.
We have plenty of it.
We have too much pitching.
It's time to get rid of some and get a bat.
One thing I don't understand is I don't know a whole lot about college players. Our very first round draft pick, everybody talks about how great he is. They said his only problem really is he's not a very strong hitter. And I said, why the fuck did we draft him then? Right?
Right.
That's the one, well, maybe they can develop his hitting. No. Have we been able to develop anybody's hitting?
You've seen the development of hitting.
Holy crap. Maybe he can pitch.
I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Maybe he can pitch.
Well, he'll still bat third in our lineup. You know that.
Speaking about hitting, we got no hit today. I don't know if anybody saw the game. It was a day game.
It was a day game. Thank God it wasn't on. Thank God I wasn't home to watch it. So
there's a couple things about that. Number one, I turned to a coworker of mine and I said, well, lucky for us, we got that out of the way during the day, so we don't have to watch that tonight. That's the second time getting no hit by Timmy Tim Tim. My only question is, how the hell is that the first time this season we've been no hit? How the hell did it take this long?
Well, if you look at the
for us to get no hit,
I don't know
this year. We should have been no hit 3 or 4 times already. If you look at the way didn't we get 1 hit and win the game earlier this year?
It was a couple walks, 1 hit.
We've had a few 2-3 hit games.
Ridiculous.
How did we go this long? I mean, I think it's actually pretty impressive. We went till the 25th before we got no hit. That's
pretty impressive.
Yeah. That's
for a team that's struggling to hit.
Well done, guys.
Yeah.
And when it couldn't get any worse, this happens.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, you get Gwynn's death, and that's sad. And, you see the team. I don't know if everybody's feeling it on that team. Who knows how they feel. But they go out there, they're lackluster. They lose 2 in Seattle. They come home, they lose 2 against the Dodgers. And then you go and win 2 against the best team in the division. And then you get no hit, which makes it feel like you didn't win one game in the series. So the highs and lows of this team, and to even follow this team is very, very tough for me as a fan to even watch the display. Carlos Quentin booted 2 balls today in left field. I was listening to the game at work.
Another
routine
Burns,
plays.
Another Burns signing, by the way.
Yeah, and that should be playing in the AL.
That hasn't.
He should be playing in the AL.
And it's funny because you mentioned that, Justin, because I want to say it was the Fox Sports girls, the lovely Fox Sports girls.
They're very beautiful.
But they said, well, at least we won the series. It sure doesn't feel like it.
Oh, dude.
No, it doesn't.
You don't need to say stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well,
at least you won the series.
That's what they're there for,
Yeah, right. A little pep talk. Yeah.
But the problem with teams, and my team is in the cellar also, but winning 2 out of 3 and then winning 2, losing 2, you're never going to catch back up that way. You need to reel off 9-10 wins in a row. And I remember a couple weeks ago when the Cubs were on a 5-game winning streak, I'm like, you got to keep it going because
Yeah, don't let the train stop.
No, even you win 2, you lose 1, you only made up 1 game in the standings.
Of course.
That's nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's nothing when you're inside this big of a hole.
Well, especially when the Cardinals in your division. And,
Well, I'm talking Padres now.
Yeah. I know. Well, if you want to get on the Cubs, I mean,
one thing is if we can go back in our time machine, which a little bit of a preview, we will be doing that a little bit later on in the show, just for you guys to know.
That's fine.
But if we go back in our time machine to us when we were talking spring training, how excited we were. We all had the feeling that we
could compete.
Are right there on the edge. We're ready to compete. We're going to get to the training deadline. We might add one more guy that's going to get us, into that wild card, or who knows what could happen.
How could you not?
And to go from that to the utter despair, blow up the team because we suck so bad. We got nothing.
Extreme roller coaster ride.
That's part of being a fan, though.
Yeah.
I mean, what team wasn't? I mean, half of the so-called experts had the Rays going to the World Series this year, and the worst team in baseball.
Yeah.
Which is hard to say because I watch the Padres nightly. I mean, I can't believe we are not the worst team in baseball. That is unreal to me.
They're trying.
The Padres, they just have the worst talent in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're playing. I don't even know, man. They're a wreck.
Yeah.
There's really no other way to put it.
Agreed.
I don't feel I don't feel bad for whoever has to come here and be the GM. I mean, you have to do a complete facelift on this team.
You don't feel bad for them?
I mean, I do feel bad.
Oh, okay. I was going to say I feel very bad for them
I feel
because they're going to have to do a lot of work.
This is going to be a hard job to redo. And how you insult to these fans who've put up with mediocrity for so long.
The problem is it takes years, and I could tell just by listening to the 4 of you guys on a weekly basis that San Diego fans don't have the patience for that.
No.
I mean,
well, do you have patience? And I'm not going to say your team or whatever. Just do you, as a fan of a team that's similar at yearly, what was your patience like?
I could see the light at the end of the tunnel. Padre fans, I'm pretty sure can't say the same. We have absolute stud prospects at every position in the minor leagues right now that are probably ready to come up right now, and it's a whole nother business side of baseball. You can't say that about the Padres. You have the catcher, Austin Hedges. I think.
Austin Hedges.
He's a stud.
Is he though? I mean, is he a stud or
we
is
don't know yet.
Going to come up and hit 7th?
Yeah.
I'm talking about guys that are MVP candidates.
And that's kind of what I mentioned a couple of weeks ago. Like, even the Astros have a better, projected line.
But MVP candidates don't grow off trees, though. We know that.
No, we draft them.
No, I understand that, but they don't you don't pluck them from Double-A San Antonio and go, come on, kid, you're ready. You know what I mean?
And you certainly don't trade them for an injury-prone pitcher.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. The guys you have that you think could be keep them around, for gosh sakes, and I do agree with that point.
Yeah.
It's
they just made a wrong decision. Yonder Alonso was the guy to trade. Period.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that they did what they did. I mean, I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Bad trade, and so that's no surprising. I mean, who else are they going to fire?
I mean, would you agree that at the beginning of the year, Padres, in my mind, had playoff caliber pitching?
Oh, yes.
Playoff caliber pitching.
Yes.
Little league hitting.
Yeah.
I'm serious, and I'm being very. We didn't know what the hitting was going to do.
Here's what we did.
And this is what it's done.
Here's what
it's
we did as fans,
all year.
and I understand that that's what we are. We're fans. We look at it as fans, and we looked at all these positions. We looked at Will Venable, and we saw the 2 months that he played great, and we extended that into this year.
Why were we
and
such idiots at the time?
We saw the half year that Chase Headley had, and we said we're going to get that from him this year. We saw how Cabrera had the first half of that season, and we said we're going to get that from him this year.
All-star last year.
We saw how Jericho ended last season, and we said we're going to get that from him this year.
He's a joke.
We saw all these things. We said we're unstoppable. We are unstoppable, and we came to find out that those were not how these guys are. Those were when these guys had their little hot. They were playing at their best. We don't. Or maybe not at their best. They were playing above their best.
We were grabbing on to the potential of the team being. Right. We didn't see any wrong at the beginning of the year. Obviously, you don't because everybody's optimistic at the beginning. No, of course. We're fans. We were picking every position out. We're going, this guy's got a chance. This guy's got a chance. And that's what we said. At the beginning of the year, everybody had a question mark, did they not?
Yes.
We went through the whole infield and outfield.
We did.
That was the one thing I go, everybody's still kind of with a question mark, though. Do we get the Venable that was this guy's been around for 7 flipping years, and he's done damn thing.
No.
Streaky player.
No. He'll play 1 or 2 weeks, and we'll say, that's what what we're waiting for.
15 strikeouts in a row, and you're like, dude, come on. I know. It's Same old Padres.
It's a team full of bench players.
It is.
Basically. I mean,
Yeah.
they got an outfield full of fourth outfielders.
Yep.
And,
Absolutely.
and there's no...
Including Cam Maven.
We
Yeah.
talked
I'm so over
earlier.
him.
We talked earlier today. We were talking about what Padre is a legitimate all-star caliber player.
Well,
Houston Street.
Seth Smith.
Right, Houston Street is a legitimate all-star. If you did not have to send a guy from every team, the Padres would still have an all-star, and it would be Houston Street.
Right.
Everybody here agrees with that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's say Houston Street gets traded and he's not a Padre. Who do they send then?
Padre fans better hope he gets traded.
Seth
I mean,
Smith
they need to
would
start
go.
getting
Yeah.
some guys in the farm system because they don't have it now.
Seth Smith would go.
So Seth Smith would go.
Right.
Seth Smith, as
Not an
great as
all-star.
he's played for
No,
us,
he's not.
is not
But he
a
would be
legitimate
the next guy
right.
in line because
That's
he's the
pathetic.
only guy.
But he's not a legitimate all-star. We talked about this last year because we said our best outfielder right now is a fourth outfielder, and his name is Kristen Orfia.
Right.
This year, our best
teams would love to
outfielder-
have, actually.
right, as a fourth outfielder.
Exactly.
Our best outfielder this year is Seth Smith, who was brought in here to be a fourth outfielder,
Platoon
and
guy.
he's our best outfielder by far. It's not even
Right.
close.
Right.
When you're
Blows
fourth,
your
when
mind.
the fourth outfielder for any other team is your all-star superstar, you got problems. You
Oh,
have
big
problems
issues.
offensively.
I agree with you.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and talk some World Cup soccer and see if anybody else thinks we should be playing for a tie.
Do you need help with your business project that is due? Maybe you need business cards to help your business stand out. We at San Diego Sports Junkies got you covered. SK Digital Imaging can do it all. Give our buddy Sean K a call, 858-408-0732. SK Digital Imaging, from business cards to the bigger projects, SK Digital Imaging and our buddy Sean K will get your printing done right.
What's up, you sports freaks of San Diego? This is your fantasy corner of SD Sports Junkies. I'm your host, Steve-O, and I want to challenge you to win your fantasy football season this year. So tune in weekly starting in August for some preseason sleepers, draft day steals and busts, new draft value on the usual suspects, and my personal mock draft strategy that will carry you through your season and leave your buddies crying in that draft room. So please, don't miss your chance to tune in and add your fantasy football smack talk to your corner of SD Sports Junkies.
All right, guys, we're back. It is World Cup soccer time. USA has a big game tomorrow that you keep hearing everybody say that the United States and Germany are they're gonna both play for the tie because the tie gets them both through. I sure hate that. What's funny is before we played against Portugal, Mark Ziegler, funny little story, Mark Ziegler, when I played AYSO soccer, called me for 2 penalties in one game.
What a jerk.
So, so I remember that, Mark. Up in Alpine. I have not forgotten.
If you're listening. If you're listening
Brazil.
to our podcast right now.
From Brazil.
Because we know you are.
Right, of course.
He tweeted that we should be playing for the tie against Portugal, which pissed me off.
No.
He wasn't alone.
I know.
Yeah.
What is the deal with that play for the tie? And the United States actually played really well, and we ended up with a tie, and I felt like I lost. Felt like I lost.
You know what it was? I think it was our soccer culture that we've grown up with here in the United States to play for the tie. Because I thought going to this game, and I was one of the few, that Portugal was ripe for the picking. I mean, they had 2 or 3 new defenders. Ronaldo was hurt. Their goalie, I believe, was hurt as well. And it looked like, this is a time to pounce on them and win. And you're right. A tie at the end ended up feeling like a punch to the gut, It was horrible.
I'm happy you bring up Tim Howard because people that I talked to some people who I don't know if they know more soccer than me. They certainly watch more soccer than I do.
Right.
I am completely unimpressed with him. Everybody talks about what a great goalie he is. I have been very unimpressed with him at goal. Does anybody else have an opinion on that, or anybody else think anything about that? What do you think?
You know what? It's funny you should mention that because I was thinking about this the other day. You just watch any of the World Cup coverage, and I don't know what makes a good goalie or a bad goalie. I'm far from a soccer fan, trust me. But it just seems to me like an awful lot of time and an awful lot of goals. The goalie's just fucking standing there watching the ball go right past him. And it's not just Tim Howard; it's every single goal.
You are not alone.
And then they throw out their arms and they want to blame a defender.
Yeah, they start screaming at the defense.
Try something. Try waving an arm. I mean, seriously, I understand that it's happening fast. I get all that. You're the best goalie that we have to offer.
Right.
You're the fucking guy.
Yeah.
And you're watching that ball go right past you.
Yeah.
Right, I didn't even see you raise an arm.
300 million people in the United States, and Tim Howard is the best. He's
best.
number one.
Is it?
I don't get that.
Well, I mean, I've played goalie since I was in high school, and I mean, I'm trying to go goal by goal. The second goal wasn't his fault. I mean, you really can't do much about that. That was the defense's fault. The first goal, I know people are complaining that he fell really early. Not again. As a goalie, you don't have much choices. That was just a fluke goal, but I don't think he's the best on the team.
That first goal was definitely the defender's fault for not clearing that ball. That was ugly.
Yeah, but I mean, he's definitely not the best goalie on the team. I think is in that spot more as a lifetime achievement kind of thing. I'd like to see Brad Guzan up there, but that's not going to happen. Obviously, Klinsmann has decided to roll this World Cup with Howard, and
I saw a lot of highlights. Of course, I watched the game live, but everybody's showing highlights of that great off-balance save he made. But right before that, he let the ball go right through his hands and go off of. I mean,
right.
That was ugly, and that could have been a really ugly goal. And I don't know if I don't know. I don't know if it's I don't know why to me, I'm just not impressed.
No.
I've never really been impressed with him before.
What goalie does impress you, though? I mean, really? What?
Well, you know what?
Solo?
She's a party, man.
She's got a hell of a right hook.
Oh, never mind. That's a totally different subject.
I'll be honest with you. I remember World Cup fever quite a few years ago, and I was very impressed with Tony Meola. I thought Tony Meola was a really, really good goalie for,
I like the kid from Mighty Ducks.
I'm an old guy.
Goldberg?
Yeah, Goldberg.
I'm a wrong sport.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, Jonathan Quick could do
Yeah,
a pretty
there
good
you
job.
Yeah.
I thought Tony Meola was really good back when we made our last when we went pretty deep in the World Cup. What do I know though? It's everything for me is by the eye test because I don't know enough about it. I don't study it.
I'll give you a goalie to compare Tim Howard to. Guillermo Ochoa, the goalie from Mexico, who, if you saw the Brazil game,
that guy,
that is a good world class goalie. And Tim Howard, like I said, he's on his last leg after this World Cup.
He had no legs. He's moving around very fast at all.
After this World Cup, I expect to see him no longer playing for the U.S.
In a wheelchair.
But like I said, we've always had we haven't always had great goalies. Their reputation is just a lot better than how they play.
Okay.
And it's just really, everybody thinks he does great. He plays on a crappy team not crappy.
So it's more perception?
Yeah, he plays on a middle of the table team in England, and so everybody thinks, what he does is amazing because, he's playing against the Manchester United.
So he's kind of put on a pedestal,
but
he's really down here?
Yeah,
okay.
But, so we put him on a world-class stage.
Which doesn't make him terrible. He's just not as good as...
He's just not as good as the other guys.
Gotcha.
How about Bradley? What do you think about Bradley's play so far?
Going back to the goalie real quick, I'm sorry.
No, okay.
I mean, we've been spending the last minute poo-pooing the guy, but I mean, we could all agree that he's not the reason they lost the game.
You're right.
I'm not sitting here trying to say he had any chance at all.
Did Ronaldo not make the greatest kick you've ever seen?
I get that.
That's
all
I
want from one of these goalies is an arm move. I mean, I understand he had no chance at that. I get it. But I mean, it's not just him. Watch tonight. Watch ESPN. Watch whatever. You're going to see these goalies just watching the ball go by.
Yeah.
There's no. I mean, as a fan, as a very casual, if you could even call me that. I mean, playing for a tie and watching these guys flop around like bitches turns me off.
Thank you. I kind of just bit my tongue. I'm glad that I can agree with you on this because I know you guys like soccer. I do too. I watched the whole game. 2-1. I'm going, sweet, USA is going to win. I'm a casual fan like yourselves. Awesome. We're going to advance with no problems. And then, boom, Ronaldo kicks it, boom. And I'm like, dude, what just happened here?
Right.
And then they say a tie. And I'm like, why is there a tie? I'm yelling at my TV like, I hate ties.
Do you like soccer or do you like the World Cup? Two completely different things.
I like to follow the World Cup in my country.
World Cup is an event. It's like the Olympics.
Yeah.
I don't watch
skeet
shooting or what's the shit where they scrape
curling.
Yes.
I love curling.
But during the Olympics, I love that shit. But I don't look for it on a Wednesday night.
ESPN the Ocho. You want to go to underwater basket weaving? That's not a fun time.
I think saying I like soccer is it's no. I like the World Cup.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
You
fair.
like the aura.
Better way of
and,
saying it.
yeah, I do
Just
too.
everything about it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and like you said, very casual fan. I just, for me, I'm the same thing. I look at the goalie and I watch some balls go by or near misses or near makes, and I'm like, man, they're slow to react. I'm like, I watch baseball all the time, and they've got to react to a baseball coming at them in like 1.2 seconds, right? These goalies have like a lot longer
ball's
than
bigger,
passing
too.
Yeah, and the
they're-
ball's bigger,
yeah.
and they have these giant gloves on their hands.
And they're
right?
passing around an awful lot of blame too.
Yeah, and I'm like,
You know?
how
Yeah.
does this happen? And this is why it's not so appealing to me. That's off subject. We're not talking about how
No.
appealing soccer is.
And
But you're talking about how the USA kind of just failed. I mean, it was a lackluster
Right.
performance.
And I just
At
want
the end.
Yeah,
At
at
the
the
end.
end,
It was
yeah.
actually a great performance
Yeah.
up until the end.
Yeah, and
I liked most of the game. It was kind of cool. But that last goal, dude, shot me in the face. Dude.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow.
yeah. No, what and like I said, I played soccer since I was 4, so I grew up with the game, love the game, and it's a lot of those nuances like you don't know. Like you bring a person from Europe or something,
Yeah.
and tell the guy. They see 3rd and 15, and they see a run, and they're like, "Why the hell's the guy running?"
And that's
But it's
the
like- 'cause-
thing. I think the common fan has questions,
Yeah.
and I because to each their own. Because I'm a NASCAR fan. What do I want to watch cars go left for? I love it. I think
Right.
it's great. I think there's a lot of strategy because I've been around it.
Right.
People
Right.
don't think so. They
Yeah.
think it's a bunch of crap.
The other thing that I notice in soccer is when a team is down, like you see in hockey, they pull the goalie. They're doing everything they can to come back. And you watch in soccer, and they're still afraid of giving up a goal. There's 2 minutes left in the game. Portugal did not do that.
Right.
Portugal sent everybody, and I'm like,
They
well,
had
at least
to, though.
Yeah, they had
yeah,
to.
but I've seen lots of teams have to and still not do it.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, what the fuck are you? You're going to lose.
Right.
Who cares if you lose 2-1 or 10-1? It's still a loss.
Right.
It's still a loss.
Loss is a loss.
The problem with soccer, though, is they have that whole stupid goal differential
Right.
thing that
Right.
matters.
Oh, a tie.
yeah.
And they get so
We wanna-
freaking
yeah.
excited.
And that's
about
why
a
everybody's
tie.
talking about the game tomorrow. And let's move to that.
England.
USA, Germany.
Oh, Germany. Sorry. Thought it was England.
I am going to be
Same
so
shit.
pissed
Yeah,
off. Now,
same
first of all,
thing.
how can you tell? Of course, but I think if we go into this game trying to play for a tie, we will lose the game.
I agree, 100%.
Germany on paper,
Well,
player to player,
isn't Germany supposed to be the better team?
they are a better
Okay.
team. They
so
are a
if
better
you go
team.
in playing for a tie, you're going to lose, like you said. I
Right.
mean, you don't go into games saying we're going to tie and we're going to advance.
We need to go in there. And we need to try and beat their ass. Is
team
what we
should
need to
ever
do.
Say that.
And trying for a tie and trying to play it safe is not
What's
the
wrong
way to
with the
do
sport.
this.
It is.
Yeah.
Playing
And,
for ties is a
yeah.
big problem.
Exactly.
A big problem.
Exactly. It's like a fighter playing for the decision.
Yeah.
Fighting for the decision.
Right.
It's
Doesn't work that way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think the U.S. is going to do that. I think they're going to come in tomorrow. They're
What
going
do
to
you
try.
think? You're kind of the veteran here. I mean, what do you honestly think is going to happen tomorrow?
I honestly think the U.S. is going to look at Germany's game against Ghana, which they tied 2-2 against Ghana, and they're going to say there's some things that we can attack, and they're going to go for it.
Exploit.
Yeah, I mean, they have to score early. I mean, if you don't score early on Germany, then you're kind of screwed.
Right.
Because then they're going to just attack you. But Germany's done some things that are kind of weird. They have the best right back defender in the world. His last name's Lahm, Lahm, and they're putting him as a midfielder. So they're doing these really tactical things that the U.S. is set to exploit. Like they're made to exploit some of these things. So I agree with you. This whole tie thing, it's a very antiquated thought in U.S. soccer. Hey, let's just go for the tie. Let's just make it across. No, that's what Klinsmann is here to change. He's going to go for the win, and that's what I've been trying to say the last couple of weeks is having Klinsmann here. Not bringing Donovan and changing the culture. It's a big deal. Americans have been. It's soccer. Like let's just do what we can. Let's hope for the best. Let's look good. Now it's time to start winning.
Question: where is our head coach from? Jurgen Klinsmann.
Germany.
Germany.
He played for.
How
the
does
German
that make
national
any
team.
sense to you guys?
It's weird in soccer. It's really
it's the United
really weird.
States team.
Yeah.
And this guy gets on the mic and he's like, "Zumlandschligling." I'm like, what is going on? I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone. This is another reason I don't like soccer. Why is the German guy on my team wearing the United States
He's a
colors?
German hero.
Well, that's fine. But why is he on the field wearing the United States colors?
That does seem a little bit
Anybody
strange.
else? Oxymoron there, no?
It's like having a Dominican guy on your baseball
And
team
we're playing-
because he's the best one you
Yeah.
can
We're
get.
playing Germany?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So
and,
the guy's German and we're playing Germany.
and the guy that coaches German was his like assistant coach,
Yeah.
so they're like buddies.
yeah.
That's why everybody thinks the fix is in, and there's going to be.
I disagree. I think that's just going to make it more competitive. I mean,
Hey, let me tell you something.
Oh, of
You're my
course.
buddy. If I'm coaching against you, I'm going to beat
whoop
your
your
ass.
No, I
Yes.
hear that.
Yeah.
The
It's
thing,
just
I think
crazy.
the thing that makes this match, I mean, it'd be one thing if one team needed a tie to advance. Both these teams, a tie, they both advance.
Yes.
So that's what kind of makes it. I mean, if we get to like the 70th minute,
Well, can't they
And
just
it's
go out there and
0-0.
shake hands and give up the game? And
yeah,
go,
I guess they
"It's tied"?
technically could. I mean, this shit's so corrupt anyway. I mean,
Yes.
yeah, they probably could.
Thanks, guys. We're going to go rest.
Yeah.
See you in the next round,
Yeah.
right? Is that not like a part of strategy?
Well, yeah, and it's funny because it's happened before, and I'll give you guys a quick history lesson. The games, if you notice, they both start at the same time tomorrow, the Ghana game.
Yep.
And because in 1970, West Germany and Austria, Austria couldn't lose by more than 1-0. If they lost 1-0, Austria would advance. So Germany scores an early goal in the next 70 minutes. They kick the ball around, literally.
Yep.
So that's why they play the same time.
Well, maybe they should just kick the ball around on each side of the...
But like Darren said, I agree. I mean, the person who's asked you on a kick is usually your best friend.
yeah.
You know, so I don't see it. I don't
But
see
they're
them
not
rolling
the
over.
United States' best friends.
Now here's the scenarios for tomorrow. USA and Germany tie. They both advance no matter what happens in the other game. If Portugal and Ghana tie, then the U.S. and Germany both advance no matter if they win, they lose, or tie. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
If Portugal or Ghana win, and the U.S. or Germany win, those two teams will be going through. Does that make sense
And the
to you
United
guys?
States will be out.
If they lose.
One thing I want to add to that: if Portugal wins, they have to win by a shitload
Because
the goal
you're-
differential.
okay, yeah.
yeah.
So, in layman's terms, Week 17 last year, Chargers football, we need a lot of help. And we get
And
it.
we got it.
And
Yeah.
field goal goes, and it's not a field goal.
We
and
actually can do it without help. We can tie or
Okay.
win, and we're through.
But different kinds of scenarios can
Right.
play out differently.
We
and
can
just
lose,
like
and
a-
we can still get through.
Let me put it this way: Portugal is the Chargers of last year.
Okay.
They
Yes.
need everything.
They need
to
a lot
fit-
of stuff to
They
happen.
need a lot of
Right.
things to happen.
Yeah, a lot of stuff
Yeah.
has to.
Well, it doesn't make me feel better.
No.
It did happen. We've seen it
Well,
firsthand.
that was that 1 in 1,000. So now it's another 999 times where it
Okay.
doesn't happen.
It'll happen again, dude.
So give me your prediction there, Mike. What's the score tomorrow? USA Germany. Well, first of all, tell me who wins. What happens? Portugal, Ghana.
I'm gonna say Portugal wins that one 2-1,
Okay.
and screws himself
Okay.
and sends the U.S. on a 2-1 victory.
I've been watching. I've watched every Ghana game so far. They're pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I think they're going to win that.
Okay.
game.
What happens in the Portugal Ghana game, Darren?
Oh, gives a shit, really. I mean, 1-0 Ghana.
Ghana. Okay, yeah. That's what I was going to say. I was going to say 1-0 Ghana.
1-0 Ghana. I'll just go with the common
All right.
consensus here.
Now
I
USA
have no idea.
USA Germany, Mike. What happens there?
I hate to say it, man, but I think it ends up 1-1, and not because we want it to be. I think we take the early lead, and Germany just comes back and ties at the end.
Yeah.
0-0.
That's what I was going to say too.
0-0 and a handshake
I was
before
gonna
the
say
game
0-0
saying we're
as
not
well.
playing today.
Yeah. What do
Go
you
out
think?
for double cheeseburger.
What do you
I
think,
don't
D?
I think it's going to be. I think each side is going to try to win. I mean, it's
So
hard for me not
5
to go
to
with my
4?
heart. You
Right.
know, it's hard for me not
Go
to
with your
my
heart, baby. That's what we do here.
I-
We picked the Padres to make the
Do a high
playoffs.
school.
Who's the bald guy that everyone
Michael
talks
Bradley.
to? Yeah,
Michael Bradley.
I mean, it's time he finally.
Yes,
I
it
mean,
is.
For Christ's sake, we want to talk about that kick, that goal that he should have had last game. Are you kidding?
The only place that he wouldn't have made a
He
goal is
didn't
where
even
he
look
kicked
up,
it.
dude.
Yeah.
He didn't even realize
Yeah.
what was going on in front of him. But
Yeah.
I think he's going to have a decent game. He's got to.
Well,
I sure hope you're
didn't
right.
Ronaldo miss a couple easy ones, too?
He's
He didn't miss
hurt.
easy ones, but he kicked the ball where it went way
Yeah.
nowhere near where he
kicked it in the
wanted
stands.
it to.
I'm like, did that guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
And
like-
I saw his name. Like, isn't that guy supposed to be good?
It was like
Yeah.
50
Like,
cents
he has,
pitch.
That Ronaldo guy has a distinct advantage because every other year he gets to play in the Women's World Cup also.
He keeps himself quite in shape.
He's pretty good. So he's got a little bit of advantage.
Well-rounded. That's awesome, man.
But I'll go 1-0 USA.
1-0
That's right.
USA.
I was
All
going to
right.
go that, but
All right, we're going to take another quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to be talking some Chargers, and we are going to jump aboard the time machine and listen to a little blast from the past.
yeah.
What's up, you sports freaks of San Diego? This is your fantasy corner of SD Sports Junkies. I'm your host, Steve-O, and I want to challenge you to win your fantasy football season this year. So tune in weekly starting in August for some preseason sleepers, draft day steals and busts, new draft value on the usual suspects, and my personal mock draft strategy that will carry you through your season and leave your buddies crying in that draft room. So please, don't miss your chance to tune in and add your fantasy football smack talk to your corner of SD Sports Junkies.
Do you need help with your business project that is due? Maybe you need business cards to help your business stand out. We at San Diego Sports Junkies got you covered. SK Digital Imaging can do it all. Give our buddy Sean K a call, 858-408-0732. SK Digital Imaging, from business cards to the bigger projects, SK Digital Imaging and our buddy Sean K will get your printing done right.
All right, everybody, we are back. It is time to talk Chargers. Now, for any of you that have been listening for a little while, Darren has been joining us in the chat room, and he has been calling us. He has been calling. Justin doesn't know what we're about to do to him here.
Oh, here we go.
He has been calling Justin a Kansas City Chiefs fan.
Closet Chiefs fan.
A closet Chiefs fan, and, we didn't really understand why. And then we purchased this time machine, and we went back, and I'm going to play everybody a clip, and I want you guys to hear this. This is from our prediction show on what the Chargers and the Chiefs were going to do.
So, Kansas City is next on the agenda. In Kansas City.
That's a loss.
Is it?
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, as everything we're talking about, this team is one play away every single game from win.
Two plays the other way because they can't.
We have a good enough team to win this game. Now, let me tell you, Kansas City's offense is licking their chops.
Make your point, because I don't agree with
City's offense is horrible.
Jason, you make your point.
My point is the fact that our team is going to win this game.
Really?
I really think we're going to go into Kansas City and win this game.
No, we are not, because on 4th and 1, we are going to kick a field goal. Because that's what we do on the road against good opponents.
It's not going to get to 4th and 1.
That's what we do. This team cannot get the job done.
It is.
This team is shooting itself in the foot and in the legs and every extremity that we have. This team is awful. Alex Smith is going to look like a Pro Bowl quarterback.
That's what I am a little bit afraid of.
Alex Smith is going to throw for 450 yards this week, Jason. Come on, man. Dwayne Bowe's going to have 4 touchdowns in the first half. This is no way.
All right, I think that's enough.
Wow, was I upset or what?
We're sorry for ambushing
I'm a
you.
total optimist there.
We're sorry for ambushing
It's all
you
right.
like
I
that.
remember that show. I just didn't want to ever replay that show because I ate my words pretty good.
The funny thing is, out of nowhere, Darren called you a Chiefs fan, a closet Chiefs fan, and we're all going, "What is he talking about?"
Yeah, at first I was like, "Did I do a show?"
I don't forget. And by the
Yeah.
way, I remember Justin was unavailable the next week. He was out of town doing something. He was. Do you remember that? If you remember that, he was not at the next show.
I didn't re-up on my. I didn't have to face the music, I guess.
Oh, that's good.
So
Yeah, it was a little bit of a rant, and that's a good one. I
maybe that's what
appreciate that,
pushed
guys.
us over the top.
Thank you very much for the re-listen. Awesome.
So, anyways,
That's what football season does to you, though.
Yes,
That's why I love football. 'Cause
absolutely.
That's me
Absolutely.
being me, and that's
Well, I'll tell you what. As angry as you were, you wanted everything that you were saying to be wrong.
Oh, of course. Of course.
Now, the Chargers actually made a big signing this week. We had talked about it last week. Brandon Flowers is now a member of our defense. The only thing I had to say was I was worried that if he was that great, why did he get released? That he comes in, he brings an attitude. From what I've heard, he certainly is better than anything that we had on the roster last year. I don't know. What do you guys think about the signing?
This is a huge signing, guys. I mean, it is. The Padres, Chargers, they haven't been legitimate in free agency in a long time. To me, this is a credibility signing for Tom Telesco. I think he had to do a little recruiting. I think a lot of players on the team had to do a little recruiting. This guy was owed a lot of money. I mean, not a ton, but he was gonna require a lot of money. they made it work with incentives and with its $2 million guaranteed and
2.5 guaranteed,
something like that.
2.5 incentives, so it's 1 year, $5 million.
So they really made this work. They made it work, and they sold him on the idea of Phillip Rivers and a playoff caliber football team, and sold him on being a missing piece of maybe a championship run type of team, and they did a great job. And I got to hear a little excerpt of an interview recently, and it was on Mighty 1090, Dan Cilio's show. And he was at not many fans here, but I did like the interview. So he was caught up in talking about Phillip Rivers and what he liked, and this is exactly what he said.
It'd be pretty cool knowing that the star of the team, Phillip Rivers, is probably the biggest cheerleader on a guy like you. Because, Brandon, think of this for a second. If they play a little bit better defense, this team's one of the top 4 teams potentially because of that offense in the National Football League. And a guy like you with depth and experience as a starter, I mean, if they play a little bit better defense, they could be right there at the end of the day in the AFC.
And that's what I feel like my job is to do. You know, I'm definitely another piece to the puzzle that's added to get this thing complete. You know, I just want to play my part. I think they had a nice thing going here in that piece of them puzzles, you know, just right. You know, so I just want to come in, do what I can do, plus more, you know, to try to get us where we need to be.
Hey, final question for you. To me,
and that's what he kind of had to say about the Phillip Rivers situation coming to San Diego. So I thought it was interesting. Final piece of the puzzle. I think we're there. I mean, I think the talent-wise, Sharice Wright showed at the end of the year that he could hold up. He finally made strides. If Jason Verrett becomes this corner that people think he will be, obviously undersized, it took a while for me to get to like him. I do like him now. I think he's a stud. I haven't seen him play it down.
I was just going to say, he hasn't even taken the field yet, man.
I haven't seen him play it down. I'm the total optimist when it comes to the beginning of the year. We all are.
Until we play the Chiefs.
Until we play the Chiefs, and I'm going to be ranting and raving. But I do think his upside's good, and that's just my opinion. But solid 3 guys there with a first-round selection of Verrett. I think things can come together, and I think Steve Williams gets healthy, a guy we like, Mike.
Yep.
I just think what do we talk about? Depth. They've added depth. Brandon Flowers is a quality football player, and that's added to this defense.
You know, all of it is all talk until they actually get on the field.
Of course it is. We all know that.
Yeah, Brandon Flowers, it just depends on whether or not he fits within the style of defense that the Chargers play.
He does.
From what I've read, his style is good for the defense that we play. You never know. You never know. I mean,
well, from what I heard outside of radio or whatever, that's why he was ousted in Kansas City. He had different coordinators come in and out. They didn't utilize him as well as they might have.
Right.
I've seen Brandon Flowers get burned. I have.
We play him twice a year.
Of course. But I know that.
Right.
But he brings a lot to the table that some of our other corners don't.
One thing I think fans need to kind of slow the roll on is he's not Darrell Revis.
No.
You know, there's 4. I was thinking about this earlier. There's 4 elite cornerbacks in the game. He's not one of them.
No,
so let's
not.
not pretend like that side of the field is completely shut down.
No, he's not.
So, I mean, can he be a Pro Bowler? Yes. In my opinion, I think all 3 of those guys could be Pro Bowlers. I think Sharice Wright really stepped up at the end of last season.
Those last 4 or 5 games, he played awesome.
Yeah, and so I'm, I mean,
you're going to be
who's to say Flowers even comes in here and starts?
Of course. He's got to win a job in camp, and we know that. I'm just saying, with his experience, Pro Bowl caliber type player, he has been. He's proved that.
Yep.
Solid veteran corner, come in, help the rookies out. These are all young corners here in San Diego. Every single one of them. He's going to help out.
And you know what I was thinking as I was watching some film of him the other day, and a play that stood out to me was when Wes Welker was running down the field, like down the middle of the field, he just came and popped him for no reason. Yeah. And we love,
he brings a little
physicality is what we've been asking for, right? We've been wanting a physical corner. And
Chargers need some nasty. They need somebody that's a little edgy, and that's kind of we need somebody that's borderline dirty.
Exactly.
I mean, period. I mean, call it cheap, call it whatever you want, but I wouldn't mind him taking Welker out.
A little Randall Godfrey in our lives.
Yeah, we used to have I don't know these names or keep escaping me. Or the lineman with Dealman.
Dirty
Dealman,
yeah.
man. I mean, we missed that.
Yeah.
We need somebody that's going to poke your eye when no one's looking.
I agree with you.
Fluker brought a little bit of that last year, I thought, and
Incognito, baby.
Yeah.
Where's that? We need
Sign his
somebody.
ass, yeah.
We need somebody that's a little crazy, a little stupid, a little somebody that can't really interview well with the media.
Right.
You know,
well,
I mean,
it sounded like we had that already.
yeah, it did. Yeah, it's a good thing he's playing corner and not taking the test for us.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, part of that is the douchebag that was interviewing him.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's going to lead us into a little game that Darren had actually suggested this to me a couple weeks ago, and we're going to call it Would You Rather. Now, each year it seems like you get one or two main guys are going to go down for the season. You're going to lose them. If you were God and you had the chance or you had the ability to decide which one of these guys you would lose or which one of the guys you would keep, however you want to put it, one of them had to be gone for the year. And you had the choice. The first one, we're going to go Eric Weddle or Ryan Matthews. You have to choose one of those guys you keep and one of those guys you lose for the season. Mike.
All right. That one's pretty easy to me. I think it's Ryan Matthews.
Matthews is gone? Or
Matthews is gone.
Okay.
And, I've never been a big fan of Eric Weddle. I think he's very lucky with his interceptions.
50-50 on him.
But he's there. He's at the right spot at the right time. And you can't knock that because he's doing that every single year. Ryan Matthews, okay, let's be honest. He's probably going to miss some games this year. So we're going to play without him. So if we miss him the whole season, I think Donald Brown and Woodhead will fit right in together.
And Marion Grice, which will be on the team this year. For me, it's Ryan Matthews. We can lose him because of the depth we have this year. That's solely on depth. Like you said, he'll be injured anyway. He'll probably miss 3 or 4 games. As far as Eric Weddle, you can't replace him because we don't have anybody behind him. So that's a big problem.
Right. Darren?
That's exactly. I actually am going to go a little different. I think Ryan Matthews is a more important piece of this team than Eric Weddle, but I absolutely agree with Justin. I think if we had to lose one of them, we just don't have the depth to replace Eric Weddle.
Yeah. I agree. I don't think Ryan Matthews gets the credit he deserves,
doesn't, and he gets hated on a lot on this show.
And I think that we
turns me off.
I think we got a chance to see how valuable he was last year in that playoff game.
If he plays like he did last year,
and
Darren, I won't do that anymore.
As it the same thing, we have more depth behind him.
Who is Eric Weddle's backup?
That's what I was going to ask.
Do we even know that?
Me.
Well, Marcus Gilchrist would probably play back there.
Yeah, no, we would.
He's been so solid. No. You know what? A lot of people hate on him, too.
I don't like him.
I'll tell you what. The second Eric Weddle became a free agent, every single goddamn team in the league would be lining up to sign him because he's a stud.
Yes.
You know, I think it's reverse racism is what that is. I'm telling you, man. Because he's a white guy that sometimes that didn't make the tackle against the Jets in the playoffs. You know, everybody remembers that, even though it was Cromartie's fault.
Right.
You know, I mean,
at least he tried to.
The problem is he's always around the ball, so he's always the guy chasing the dude that's running down the field for a 50-yard goddamn touchdown. He's the guy always there, but it's never his fucking fault.
Yeah. If you notice, if you notice last year, we broke down a lot of plays, and we were looking at it going, that wasn't Weddle's guy.
No.
Weddle was doing his job, and he had to get
Denver
over there.
Game is a prime example.
It
wasn't his fault.
No, it was not his
breakdown
guys.
in coverage, and it looked like it was his fault because he was over in the area.
Yes.
That was it.
This one's kind of a fun one. Mike Seifries or Nick Novak. One of them's gone, and one of them stays. Mike.
I'm going to go Nick Novak. And I think Nick
Novak is gone?
He's gone. He's gone. And I think he's obviously an upgrade in kicker, but you can find a kicker that you won't. I mean, he's not like a 50-yard bomber that he's like, kicking 80% for 50 years.
You're placing a lot of importance on the punter, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Yeah,
wow.
okay. Go ahead.
You can't. Sorry, were you going to go?
No, you go.
You can't lose your kicker, especially him. He's been very accurate. He's been the anti-Nate Kading. Knock on wood. He's been very good, solid. If he's 45 out, he can hit one for you. I love Mike Seifris. He changes field position very well. One of the best punters in football. But you can always get a punter. You can always get a punter that can kick 45, 50 yards down the field.
Well, like I said, we saw Mike Seifers make an extra point. I haven't seen Novak punt. I thought the whole premise of this game is it was one or the other. Not like, we'll get rid of that bum and we'll just get somebody else. That's not the point, right? It's one or the other.
Right.
So we're not going to have a kicker. One of these guys is going to have to do both, right?
Well, no, it was you're going to replace him.
Okay.
Yeah, you're going to replace him.
You know, a lot of people, Novak's replaceable. He's done a good job for us, but he's done a job that a lot of kickers could do.
Before you go, Jay,
Okay.
chat room. We have Justin Wiltz in the chat room.
All right, Justin.
He finally joined us. Thanks for joining us tonight, Justin. A little late, but better late than never. He says Cypress would go.
Okay.
But he said, please, we don't need any injuries. So.
Yes. No, we're doing this to actually keep the team from having injuries.
Of course.
This is what's going to do that.
Right.
I agree that unfortunately I like them both. Novak would have to go. One thing that we get with Cyphers is not only the field position change, but have you ever seen him mishold a kick? I mean,
No.
you never hear about any of that stuff.
I mean,
so that's
no,
part of his game
probably
as well.
That's good then.
It's part of his game as well.
Justin had a question before we get to the next segment. He said he made a comment pretty much, a comment and a question. We know our offense is good, so with Flowers, do you think that is one important piece to our team? Question. Improves the secondary. We saw last season at the end of the year when players were healthy how good our defense potentially could have been. What do you guys think?
I definitely think that with our defense playing at full strength towards the end of the year, playing at its top, is a better defense with Brandon Flowers on it. I do believe that.
Proof secondary says we are a scary team. So, I mean, I would have to agree. I don't think we're going to be scary on defense, but I think we're going to be solid enough to make some plays. And with our offense ability, we can really win some games this year.
And if the pass rush can be what we think it's going to be,
that's the key.
I mean, having a Brandon Flowers
that helps your secondary.
Yeah, having a Brandon Flowers who can react in those 3 to 5 seconds instead of any cornerback's gonna get beat if we can't get to the quarterback.
Right. Yeah,
so I think that helps to have him there.
Yeah, I definitely think that the pass rush is a bigger key than the secondary might not have been great, but I think that they were asked to do more than they should have been asked to do last year. Okay, Danny Woodhead or Donald Butler?
Oh, stop.
I'll go first real quick. Woodhead. I think Butler is more important to our defense than Woodhead. As important as trust me, I don't want any of these guys to go. But I think that we would be able to overcome the loss of Woodhead before we could overcome the loss of Butler. What do you think there, Mike?
I'm going to say I don't think we can overcome the loss of Woodhead. So I say Butler.
Wow.
Only because...
Well, we did play without Butler last year.
Yeah.
Pretty shitty.
But, I mean, he's that catching threat. And I know you love Marion Grice, but we don't know what he can do.
He's not ready.
Yeah, he's not ready.
We'll see what he does.
So
he's a
I think you
touchdown machine,
guys.
Optimism.
I think
so was Tommy Vardell.
Yeah,
yes, exactly.
and
Tim Smith.
I think I saw a stat that Woodhead only failed to pick up a first down on third down one time last year. Wow. So that's he's the guy that can move those chains.
I'm gonna agree with you. Butler would go for me, even though I am a Butler. I think he's the most important piece of our defense. I really do. I think
you guys are high as a kite. Are you kidding me right now?
No, I am not, because, dude, what Woodhead brings to your offense and the grittiness and the yards, dude, that guy plays like he's 7 feet tall on offense.
Third down back.
I don't care. Look what he did last year.
We're talking about the leader of our defense,
dude.
here.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
This one isn't even close for me.
Well, dude, you saw what happened last year. Butler went out and they still didn't play terrible.
Yes, they did.
No, they didn't.
Oh, dude,
they were presentable. They weren't awful.
They were awful.
They weren't awful.
He's the leader of our defense. Woodhead is, I'm sorry to say, as much as I love the guy, and I know you kind of look like him, the dude.
That's not why I picked him. Okay,
replaceable, dude. I mean, Donald Brown could pick up some of those third and shorts just as easily.
They're huge. They're both huge.
I love them both. Don't get me wrong.
No, they are both huge pieces of our team.
We're playing God here, remember?
Right.
Wow. Yeah. But this one's not even.
Don't act like God, people.
Yeah.
Not even close.
And Justin Wiltz in the chat room also agrees Butler.
He said Butler too.
He said Butler.
All right. Well, Justin's wrong too then.
Well, is this game called wrong or right?
No. I'm in charge, and I let you know what happens.
I thought there was no wrong answer.
Who wins this round, Jay?
You know what the funny thing is when I was thinking about the names to compare to each other, I'm like, oh shit, man, nobody's going to even want to do that one. Are you kidding me right now? I mean, I guess.
All right, how about Brandon Flowers or Manti Te'o? The interesting thing is the fact that Flowers hasn't played it down yet.
Go ahead, you go first. Man.
Yeah, go, dude.
If I had to live without one of them,
yeah,
I'd live without Flowers.
Why, dude? Flowers are beautiful and they smell good.
They do. But, they also get burned sometimes.
Yes, sir.
How about you, Justin?
I would say,
especially since Butler's going to be on all year.
I'm going to have to go Te'o too. I'm going to have to go Te'o because you can't lose anybody in your secondary. If you're going to go with the two for me, because I'm assuming Butler's there at this point. So I'm going to take Te'o out, and I'm going to keep Flowers because he's a good cover corner. Well, he's a decent cover corner.
I'm going to also go Te'o.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the secondary was, like I said, one of our... Man.
I love linebackers, guys, but geez, you guys are...
I mean... we
didn't watch the games last year, obviously, where we got burned down the field.
Secondary was obviously the biggest problem, and Teo's not the guy that's going to be rushing up the middle. He's dropping back in coverage. So
you know what I watched last year?
Te'o.
I was at the game where then Jarvis Green Ellis
took on
beat us. I mean, he straight gave us a beating.
Rock,
And last I checked, Flowers ain't going to be able to tackle that guy. So
oh, no.
Eric Whittle will, though, so it's okay.
Once again, you two guys are wrong.
Right.
We can live without Flowers because we have.
Oh, boy.
We live without him already. Our one of the things
and
is,
it wasn't a very
good living. Yeah, we weren't living well.
Sorry, we were kind of in the welfare department.
Teo's already at least been with the team for a year. I think we would miss him.
Te'o was a little closer than Danny Wood, for Christ's sake.
Hey, I think Te'o is going to have a. By the way, Te'o's going to have a breakout season this year.
All right, Jason Verrett or King Dunlap?
Oh, this is easy.
Okay,
Verrett. Yeah,
okay.
I mean King Dunlap.
I was thinking Flowers.
Oh, you know what though?
I know you were.
No.
Okay.
King
Okay, so Verrett has to go.
Okay,
would have to go because we haven't seen him play, and I know that King Dunlap did a more than serviceable job.
No, so
on that offensive line.
Everybody in the offense.
So you're agreeing with
left tackle.
Dunlap's
Left tackle. Left tackle.
Dunlap's got to go.
It's crazy.
Because look, dude, what we've done in one season with the offensive line, they've implemented fast, quick passes. How good was our offensive line? Do you think King Dunlap is a solid left tackle?
Yes.
Or is he just put in a position to make good, necessary, strong plays?
Of
course, exactly.
Yeah.
So why not put another guy in there?
King Dunlap is a solid left tackle that is perfect for the offense that we run.
Right. So you move Fluker over there, and then you get another guy.
That didn't work out as well as everybody thinks it did.
But that's fine.
Fluker struggled a lot.
I'm just saying we could plug a hole for a while.
That's what happened in the first half of the Denver game in the playoffs. We had
Troutman.
Oh, my Lord, Troutman.
Troutman, who had a solid season at left guard, all of a sudden flipped over to right, and he forgot how to play.
You forgot we drafted a guy in the third round that's pretty freaking huge. So, I mean,
he's a guard, though.
That's fine. You move guys around, you put pieces. That's what we've done the last 2 seasons.
What about Darren? What do you think, Darren?
You guys are nuts.
The two,
you guys don't watch the games.
What was with
Verrett or Dunlap?
Well, especially now with the Flowers edition, I gotta go.
I wish you had seen the face that Darren gave you, Justin, when you said what you said.
That's fine.
I had that same face in my head.
So we're in agreement that Justin's wrong.
Yeah, Justin's totally wrong on this one.
Lame.
All right, Keenan Allen or DJ Fluker?
Get the fuck out of here! I'll go first.
I just shot my head off.
I'll go first. Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen, go.
Really?
Yes.
I'm going to agree. Yeah,
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Yes, that's not even close.
Philip Rivers can throw to anybody.
Yes, he can.
He can throw to Justin and
Really?
make him look like a Pro Bowler.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
no.
let's not go
crazy
now.
I'm going to sign a contract immediately. I'm going to go offensive line again. I am. I love DJ Fluker, but I'm sorry. Keenan Allen is too big of a part of the young wide receiver that changes the game.
Keenan Allen, for a big portion of last season, was look 1, look 2, and look 3. Rivers could turn any of them. And I'm not saying he's not good. But let's just
so why didn't Vincent Brown have a better year then?
Because he's not good. He's just not that good. You guys see with your Rose cover, he's just not that good.
How is okay? Well,
I don't think
opinion.
I don't think that it's as quite a blowout as Darren thinks, but I do agree with him. Keenan Allen is more replaceable than DJ Fluker.
With who?
I agree with Darren.
I know, but who are you going to replace Keenan Allen with?
Malcolm Floyd.
Right. Easy.
These are hard, guys.
No, these are hard. These are ideal, But
I know these are tough.
We are learning how wrong you're
going to replace. You're going to replace injury-prone guys with a guy.
All I gotta say is I'm glad we have Tom Telesco and not Justin out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one I think is actually pretty
Tommy
easy. Well, maybe not. Antonio Gates or Sharice Wright? You want to start, D? Or you want to think?
I go this one.
Okay.
I got it. You want to go, Darren?
I think Sharice Wright's more replaceable than Antonio Gates.
Okay.
Go
ahead.
I'm going to say Antonio Gates, only because of Darius Green. I think he is, has tons of potential.
This is the one I don't pick the corner on. Gates is a possession guy that will get you a first down when you need one. He's too solid of a player to me. Love Ladarius Green. You can't get Gatesy off the field. That's just you can't. I know he's getting old, but geez.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, Sharice right. I think it's more replaceable. I think Gates doesn't get enough credit for what he does out there. I think every down that he's out there not catching a pass, he's allowing other people on the offense
Look
to
at all the
catch a
people
pass.
that are all up on him, mugging him at the line.
That's exactly what I was thinking about when you said that. Double teams. He draws attention away from everybody.
Keenan Allen get single covered wide open.
There you go. But Malcolm Floyd will do that too, right?
Yes, he will. 100%. Dude. Malcolm Floyd.
M80 over the middle. Oh, crush lung.
A healthy Malcolm Floyd is going to make Keenan Allen
his bitch.
Even much better weapon. But
definitely.
We'll see if the production goes down if he doesn't just pack up his ball and go home because we'll see.
Yeah.
Jury's still open on Keenan Allen, in my opinion.
Yeah?
Yeah, oh yeah,
okay.
Oh yeah, big time.
Well, I think so from an image standpoint and attitude.
Yeah,
I think you're right, but we'll see. He's solid. He's solid.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know. It's 1 year, you know.
Well, you don't hear any off-field stuff yet, but
with,
it's probably
Keenan
coming. Yeah, it's in the works.
Keenan Allen,
he's working on it.
You've seen his Instagram.
Oh, I've seen. Yeah, like what the is he gangster? I don't know. Packing a gat.
Well, I think that Keenan Allen had a fabulous rookie season, especially for as late as he got started. I don't want to say the jury's still out, but we're going to be very interested to see if season 2 he comes back to earth a little bit, and not only if he does, but if that happens, how he's able to handle it.
Yeah.
Because one question I think people have is how will he handle when things aren't going as great as they were for him last season.
Before you're ready to crown him, all I say, San Diego fans, is take a good look at your second baseman. That's it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, this guy.
Okay. That's it. I'm just saying, but just take it back.
So he's not going to be here next week, right? Just kidding. Just
take it.
I actually love that you're here. This is probably one of the cooler shows we've done. Well, Justin had a quick comment. He said we just need our defense to take pressure off our offense. Rivers doesn't have to feel like he makes one mistake and the game's over, like maybe in previous years. So I totally agree with that. If we can get back to the 06 defense where it was kind of record pace sacks and stuff, that would be fun. But just a little pressure off the edge from Freeney, the guys. Maybe Carruthers, which I'm really high on, can plug that middle as a big man. Maybe these things are going to come to fruition this year. I agree with him. The defense has to step up more this year than ever because the offense is going to get in the red zone.
They can't be a liability. They were a liability last year, and they can't be one.
And I think even like more so 2 years ago, I felt like Rivers forced it more than he ever had in his career.
And you think with the open mind with Phillip knowing his defense is going to go out and make a play, that's going to calm him down even more and just let him go out there and rip it, do his thing, go to the line, make his call. That to me, yes, it takes the burden off of Phillip. It's going to be good.
I'm really excited to see how they're going to be able to move with the no huddle this year. I think they're going to have one more year in the offense, and I think they're going to focus on that. And
agreed. It's going to be great.
That's kind of some defenses are going to have some answers for that. I think.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because I mean, it's just the Wildcat. It's Wildcat 2.0. Mm-hmm. It's this and that. I mean, these things they just go in spurts, and we'll see. I love the no huddle offense, but I also love 10-play drives that completely milk the clock. So.
Right.
Which they did a lot of last year.
Yeah, they actually did that quite a bit.
And that's one thing to turn a shitty defense into a good one is to keep them on the sidelines.
Yeah. That's why I think that's part of the reason why our defense started playing a little bit better in the second half is they didn't have to play as much.
When you looked at all the time of possessions that the games we did win, a lot of them were stellar. I'd say over 50% of them were very stellar. I mean, when you hold the ball for 40 minutes in a ball game, which we did do last year in one game, that's going to win you a lot of ball games. Granted, you got to score the ball, but keeping the ball down the red zone, milking it, just like Darren said.
That happened in Denver, isn't that?
I think that's the one in Denver. 40-something minutes of time of possession. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, suck it, Peyton.
Yeah, exactly. Mile high air, dude.
Yeah,
fuck you.
And that's huge. You're going to have to keep it out of Peyton's hand, to keep up with those guys.
Garbage.
All right.
I guess we're good. Justin, you got any more questions in the chat room? Feel free, but I think we're going to wrap it up.
Yeah, first of all, I do want to thank Justin for participating in the chat room. I want to invite anybody out there who, if you have a different opinion, a different idea, a different take, send us your article. We will put it up. Yep. It's kind of fun to read different people's ideas and talk about it on the air.
And it doesn't have to be very long. If you want to rant about something, you want to tell us who the next GM should be. If you want to go ahead and run for GM. Go ahead.
We'll submit your resume.
Yeah, we'll submit. But it doesn't have to be very.
Ahead of Justin, that's for sure.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be very long, guys. Just give us your thoughts. We'll edit it for you, make it nice and pretty, and put it on the site.
I do want to steer people towards the site. Mike had an opportunity to interview an ex-Aztec, and he put up an article about that. You want to talk about that real quick?
Yeah, I interviewed Deshaun Stevens, one of my favorite Aztecs.
Former Aztec.
Yeah,
Transfer.
and it was just really great to hear, how well he was doing in Japan. I mean, if you saw him at the Mesa, you saw him come in as this raw kid out of Santa Monica College, and 2 years later, he's playing professionally overseas and doing really well. I mean, he had some games. I know he would tweet out some of his highlights. I remember loving that game-winning dunk he had to win the game right at the buzzer. So, got to the championship game, and, he told us all about it, and it just sounds wonderful. So
just another amazing example of what Steve Fisher has done with players that he's brought in here. It's crazy to see, and you did a great job.
Thank
And
you.
he did a great job in participating with us.
Thanks, Deshaun. Appreciate
and we're
it.
trying to get more of those, and like we said, your participation is warranted. Don't forget to go to the website, SanDiegoSportsJunkies.com. Make sure Tuesday, Thursday nights, we do an awesome forum chat where we talk about our awesome Padres. They're so exciting that we just can't stop chatting. But, yeah, it is fun to talk with other fans. Even if you're pissed off, get in there and rant, dude.
Yeah.
Why is Venable striking out again? He does that all the time.
Why is
he
Chaz Headley
swinging
still
that?
playing?
Yeah, exactly. Let your voice be heard. That's one of our mottos. So that's what we want from you guys. Again, submit your articles. Forums are Tuesday and Thursday nights of Padre games going on, usually around 7. Just participate. We're here. It's a show for fans by the fans. So that's it. Just look us up. Like us on Twitter. Jason's at LB Host. You're at Mike
SD82.
Yeah, I always forget that. I'm at Bolts Pride 21, and I don't know if Darren's on Twitter anymore.
I'm not.
You used to be, right?
I used to be.
Okay, back in the good old days.
Darren's on at Suckit.
At Suckit.
At Twitter.
.com, .org, .gov.
Yeah, .org.
Yeah.
All right, we are going to be back next week. Josh should be back.
I don't know. I think he's going to stay.
We're going to see how tired he is.
Real quick. I mean, I know I'm keeping you guys long here, but
we got plenty of time.
I got a funny story that has nothing to do with sports that the fans of the show might like. So Josh got married to a girl that you guys probably don't know this. The girl Tiffany, who was probably I grew up childhood friend of hers, probably like the first serious crush I ever had on a girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I married his sister. You guys tell me who won. That's all I'm going to say.
That's awesome.
So, Josh, I love you. I wish you were here, buddy. But, yeah.
Why aren't you in Hawaii, man?
Yeah.
You couldn't make it over there?
I still win. No.
That's all right. I couldn't either.
No. Yeah.
I guess we could be doing podcasts on the beach right now.
Yeah.
With Mai Tai.
That's what we'd want to be doing if we're in Hawaii.
No, but I would do one. That'd be sick.
So we will be back once again every Wednesday night, 7 o'clock. Join us in the chat room. We are a show for the fans.
By the fans.
Josh will be back, and he will tell us all about the wonderful time he had in Hawaii and not with us.
Yeah.
For Darren Anderson, Mike Maciejewski, Justin Smead, I am Jason Eidsmoe, and take care.
Bye.
Thank you for following the San Diego Sports Junkies, a show for fans by the fans. With Josh Taylor, Justin Smead, and Jason Eidsmoe, we want you to subscribe to us on iTunes, follow us on Spreaker, and like us on Facebook. Also visit our website, SanDiegoSportsJunkies.com. This is brought to you by SK Digital Imaging and SDforlife.net. San Diego Sports Junkies, a show for fans by the fans.